what I hear for the argument against reparations is that, okay, black people today, obviously we weren't there, forced slavery, segregation, all that kind of stuff. So we've done nothing to deserve that, because all the people who did, who probably should have gotten it, actually not even probably, who should have gotten it, are, either long gone or whatever. Now there's still some who are still with us today, but that's a conversation for another day. But my point is that, so inheritance and inherited wealth is something that, the great grandfather, whatever, is passed down. Homeboy who is here today did nothing to deserve that multi-billion-dollar business, but he gets it because of his bloodline. Correct? Is that how?
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
that's
exactly.
how inheritance works, right?
Yeah, no, like Bronny James is going to get $1 billion.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. Sorry, great example. So what I'm saying is that, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, I believe that reparations in and of itself, one, I don't think that the argument is formed right, and two, I believe that, it's kind of a reverse inheritance, if that makes sense, where it's like where it's like, yes, black people, like me personally, yes, I did not have to suffer through Jim Crow, slavery, or whatever, but all those choices that were made in those times have, like, got necessarily me to where I'm at now.
Got it. So let me tell you where we have a difference of opinion.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Well, that's very tough debate, when it comes to reparation, and of course, especially in a sense to Africa, because we Africans feel that a lot of damages in a sense has been done to us. But nevertheless, let's listen to this debate.
What are your thoughts about reparations for black people specifically, and like black Americans specifically? What is your
Very much against.
Very much against. Can I ask why?
Well, first and foremost, I don't believe that we should ever pay monetary damages to people where nothing bad happened to them, just because they are related to a group of people where something bad happened to them.
Okay. So
Because it separates the idea, let me just finish, and I'll throw it back to you. Our justice system, when properly understood, is about individuals receiving justice, not tribes or groups receiving justice.
All right. Okay. Also, I want to state that just because I am a black man, I do not speak for all black people. So I'm just.
I like this guy. You should give it up for him.
Just want to state that for the record. I'm speaking for myself. So, all right. So definitely hear you on that. But even for me, when it comes to reparations, for me personally, I don't believe that it should be a check. I think that reparations can look like many different things, whether it's like investment in institutions, more like, better schools, hospitals, all that kind of stuff. So my question to you is, like, so since you are against reparations, would you say that we should be would you be for outlawing inherited wealth? Does that make sense?
Well, no, I'm not for outlawing that. Those are two different things.
Can I explain my point though? All right. So my point to that is that, okay, so what I hear for the argument against reparations is that, okay, black people today, obviously we weren't there, forced slavery, segregation, all that kind of stuff. So we've done nothing to deserve that, because all the people who did, who probably should have gotten it, actually not even probably, who should have gotten it, are, either long gone or whatever. Now there's still some who are still with us today, but that's a conversation for another day. But my point is that, so inheritance and inherited wealth is something that, the great grandfather, whatever, is passed down. Homeboy who is here today did nothing to deserve that multi-billion-dollar business, but he gets it because of his bloodline. Correct? Is that how?
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
how
exactly.
inheritance works, right?
Yeah, no, like Bronny James is going to get $1 billion.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. Sorry. Great example. So what I'm saying is that, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, I believe that reparations in and of itself, one, I don't think that the argument is formed right, and two, I believe that, it's kind of a reverse inheritance, if that makes sense, where it's like where it's like, yes, black people, like me personally, yes, I did not have to suffer through Jim Crow, slavery, or whatever, but all those choices that were made in those times have, like, got necessarily me to where I'm at now.
Got it. So let me tell you where we have a difference of opinion.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay? So we as conservatives tend to underemphasize this idea of many legacies of suffering. Whereas people on the left, not saying you're on the left, but the other perspective.
Definitely not.
No, for sure. But that's fine. No, that's fine. Let's just say the other side of the argument tend to emphasize that you are stuck because of something that happened to you many generations prior. We believe, absent very unique circumstances in the United States of America, that is almost never true. For example, we think every individual should be judged by their own actions, their own character, and their agency. Now, let's play this out, though. You're acting as if, not you, but let's say the argument, because you're coming after this in a great way, there's been like no money sent Black America the last 60 years. We have spent over $25 trillion on Black America in 60 years, and Black America's poorer than before we started. We're talking about Medicaid, food stamps, we're talking about schools, public housing. The issue is not the amount of money. The The issue has instead been a couple things. Number one, it's been the downfall of the black family. The world is waking up to the power of gold. National banks are racing to secure it. In 2024 alone, central banks added over 1,000 tons, the third straight year of net gold buying. Why? Because gold is real money. Unlike paper currency, gold's value doesn't disappear with inflation, reckless spending, and market crashes. Noble Gold makes it easy to add gold to your portfolio. Right now, when you make a qualified investment, you'll get a free 10-ounce gold coin. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. The world is turning to gold. Shouldn't you be looking into doing that too? And unfortunately,
Yes, I agree with that.
yeah, the more money we've spent on this, we've seen the downfall of the black family. Just some numbers super quick. Is that in 1964, right before the passage of the Civil Rights Act, 75% of black youth had a dad around. Now it's 25%. So only 25%. So 1 in 4 kids have a dad around. Black dads are no longer a big part of young kids' life. It's a very big problem that has huge ramifications. Then finally, on the reparations argument, it comes into just more like concrete questions. Where do you draw the line? Who defines it? And also, why would you tax, for example, somebody like me? My ancestors fought on the Union side of the Civil War, so I got to go pay more money, even though my ancestors did the right thing. No offense if you guys fought for the Confederacy. That's not trying to, drum up any, it's all good. We're all Americans now. I'm not. Why should I have to then go pay for something that my ancestors did correctly? Finally, it's like, how do you prove it? Prove it. Like, this is not your argument, but it's a hilarious contradiction. The very same people who tell you that voter ID is racist want all of a sudden black America to prove that they're the descendants of slaves 7 generations ago. Like, let me go get my paperwork together. I thought it's racist to ask people for their paperwork. Anyway, the whole thing's crazy. But here's the more important thing that I think we can agree on. Okay. That we should have a opportunity colorblind compact. We need to have school choice in this country so kids can go to better schools and have more mobility. Number 2, reconstitute the black family. And finally, this is one that you might agree on because you're not a liberal, is that we need to no longer import foreigners that are going to undercut the wages of workers of all races, especially black Americans.
I agree.
And so what we've done is we imported Nicaraguans and Guatemalans to come take low-wage labor, and we didn't want to pay our own Americans those jobs. So final thoughts on those points.
Also, great points. I would say that I am with you for the idea of a colorblind society. I think it's a bit of a farce to say that colorblind society is something we should aspire to, but I think it's a farce to think that it doesn't exist, that race doesn't play a factor.
I totally agree.
Okay, and so
I will say it plays far less of a factor 10 years ago. It's playing more of a factor today.
Yes, I agree.
In a negative way.
Yes, I 100%. I mean, I think you had mentioned something about DEI like earlier, and I was like, for sure, like the way I agree with DEI in principle, but I think the way it's been instituted by our government and all the other institutions is completely wrong. So, because for me, it's not about seeing color; it's how you treat color. Does that make sense?
Everyone's going to see color. And
yeah, exactly.
You're right.
Yeah,
and so it's an ideal that is admirable, being colorblind.
Right.
The problem with what we were promised with the Civil Rights Act, we were promised a colorblind society. We now have a color-obsessed society. And it's a breakdown of that promise. Instead, the country I grew up in, at least, was like, yeah, you're black, but it doesn't matter. It's not the most important thing. Instead, it's, are you a good person? How do you act? How do you treat other people? Are you a Christian? Like, what is your worldview? I want to get back to that. Of course, we're still going to see differences, but I want to de-emphasize them to a place where we look at each other as fellow human beings and fellow American citizens. Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
One more, can I get a hat from my buddy?
Absolutely.
From my buddy Kirk. I'll give you 2, right? Thank you. Can I shake your hand, man?
Thank you, guys.
Well, that's a very interesting video talking about reparation, and of course whether we support it or not. But then I will say that of course the West have done a lot of damage to Africa, and then therefore they are supposed to send reparation to Africa. But the problem here is, how much do they need to send in order to pay back for some of the damages they do to Africa? Well, we can't be able to tell. But then for me, I would say that of course, even if they decide to give Africa maybe some trillions of dollars or whatever they want to give, it will not still fix the problem. But what they can only do is right now is that we need a genuine independence in a sense in Africa. If they can be able to like let Africa in a sense be on its own, then therefore all these problems in a sense will not be happening. Now, for instance, let's take a look at in a sense Niger. For instance, of course, we know that Niger have abundance of uranium, right? And the abundance of uranium in a sense of Niger, it helps in a sense to boost over 40 or 50% in a sense of energy in a sense in France, right? Okay, in the process of that in a sense, how much does the average in a sense Nigerian in a sense is actually in a sense gaining from some of these things? We are talking about in a sense people that are living below $1 in a day. Imagine in a sense you in a sense Charlie, can you be able to survive in a sense with $1 in a sense in a day? No, you can't be able to, right? So these are some of the things that are currently happening in a sense in Africa. You says that these countries in a sense have independence. At the end of the day, you print their currency, you decide in a sense the value of their currency, and even some of their export in a sense, most of in a sense the West in a sense still take in a sense over 40 to 50% in a sense of their GDP. How did you expect in a sense this country in a sense to develop? So I just feel that in a sense Africa actually need in a sense a true in a sense independence, and then therefore when people want to transact in a sense businesses in a sense with Africa, and of course they can kind of go there and then therefore they can negotiate in a sense table and have a true business so that at least both parties in a sense can kind of benefit in a sense from it. Now, when we talk about in a sense this reparation, whatever that happened during the slavery and then some of the damages that was being done to Africa, let's look at it this way and says that maybe probably Ghana, for instance, in a sense, go to IMF and then says that, of course, they want to take a loan, right, of whatever billions, in a sense, dollars they want to take, of course, for them to do their infrastructure or whatever to improve their economy and then the livelihood, in a sense, of its people. In taking this money, let's assume that it take 20 years. Will they say that because of it has taken 20 years that such, in a sense, loans cannot be paid back? Whether you like it or not, those monies, in a sense, will be paid back, right? So what now happen, in a sense, irrespective of the number of years, then they should also pay in a sense for the reparation. We can say that in a sense that because of whatever that has been done in a sense was in the time past, then therefore nothing should be paid. And all these things in a sense are still happening. Why do you think that in a sense we are having problems in a sense of immigration today? We are having problems of immigration because people, they come with different religion, different cultural in a sense values, and then therefore they are here in America and they expect them to just integrate in a sense into the American society. And of course, it is going to become in a sense a problem because it's not everyone that can be able to do so. And this also comes across in a sense people coming from Asia. These people in a sense are coming from different in a sense religions. So you don't expect them to just integrate into the American in a sense values. It's going to be different because it's being built based on the Christian in a sense values. So I think that Africa is blessed in a sense with a lot of minerals, in a sense, not to talk about in a sense petroleum or whatever, but then Africa still suffer today. Why do you think in a sense Africa is suffering? Because the West decide to divide Africa. They divide Africa in a sense and cause problem in between us. Now, some of the people that you decide to take because of some of the things that you have actually benefited from some of these countries, you feel that okay, let me bring these few people to my country for them to come and learn and maybe probably better their education. But then in the process of you bringing them, what do you think now happened? They are coming from different religion. And most of the African innocent culture is based on instant polygamy. Now, when they get there and they get people pregnant and refuse to take responsibility, then it now becomes a problem. So that's why I am saying that Africa need a true independence for some of this problem to fix. But then nevertheless, I know that a lot of you have their own opinion in the same concerning this, and I want you to drop it at the comment section. Of course, I know that some of you in a sense will actually disagree with me, but this is just the fact and the truth of what is truly happening in Africa. Let me see your thought and opinion in the comment section. And may God bless you as you do so. So have a wonderful day and goodbye.